What's going on, people? King Riches. I want to react to something that I saw today that I just found to be absolutely disgusting, despicable, and pure evil. Right? A friend of mine sent me this video on Instagram, and it is basically showcasing a toy that is in China, and it was trending. I don't know if it's currently trending, but it was trending at a time, and we're going to take a look at it straight away. We're not going to waste no time. So this is the toy right here. It's called Natasha doll, right? And this toy right here is meant to be a stress reliever. So when we are talking about a toy that's a stress reliever, that's something that you'd probably be squashing in your hand, you know, just like basically be very like rough with that toy. Do you get what I'm saying? Usually a stress reliever would be just a simple ball. But for some reason, this Natasha doll is, well, you can see what Natasha doll looks like right there on the screen. And just from that alone, this is horrible. But not only that is bad enough. They actually went online and made it a trend to have people do all kinds of horrible things to these Natasha dolls. Now, this Natasha doll is very distinctive. It looks like a black infant. Now, this to me is very disgusting. This is horrible. This is pure evil. I don't want to hear any kind of excuse for this. This is absolute evil. And this just goes to show that in 2026, where people try to act like we are so progressive, and you know, there's all this black fatigue talk going around, and there's this whole kind of anti-black rhetoric that's flying around. We had that guy Chud the Builder, who is now locked up. He actually fired a firearm on a black person after he went around antagonizing black people. And now there's these copycats that are trying to mimic that. There's this rise of, like, you know, people that really hate black people, who are being very vocal and confident these days. And this just adds on to it. Now, this is coming from China. This is coming from the Far East. And in my opinion, I've always known that in that side of the world, they tend to worship whiteness. Now, it's not all. Obviously, it's not all. But in that side of the world, they tend to pedestalize white people. So this right here, it is shocking, but it doesn't really surprise me that much. But this is absolutely out of line and disgusting, in my opinion. So let's see what was said in this video.
Videos featuring a stress relief toy nicknamed Natasha are going viral online and sparking major controversy. The doll resembles a small black baby, and in many clips, users squeeze it, stomp on it, throw it, and even run it over for content. The videos are usually framed as jokes or stress relief, and the trend has spread quickly across social media. What caught people's attention...
Bruh, this is just absolutely disgusting. The fact that they're saying that they're making it for some kind of comedy, that they would run these dolls over. They would smash these Natasha dolls on the floor. And yeah, look, they've made it in different colors, but the trend was specific to when the Natasha doll looks like a black baby.
Attention is that these toys come in multiple colors, yet the trend seems heavily focused on this specific version of the doll. That immediately made some viewers uncomfortable. As the clip spread online, reactions became divided. Some people
Look at that. Their media is okay with that, bro. This is comedy. I don't know about you lot, but like, to me, this really upset me looking at this stuff. Like, it really made me feel uncomfortable, and this was just disgusting. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, bro. Like, and the fact that they were saying how this was trending. This was a trend. Like, influencers in China were getting these Natasha dolls, running them over, smashing them, throwing them against the wall, just doing all kinds of abusive things to these dolls. And this is seen as comedy and entertainment. I'm just raising awareness that black people, black guys, black women, black community, wherever you are in the world, you need to understand the climate that we're in. You need to understand the climate that you're in, bro. Like, as I said, we had Chud the Builder running around, causing havoc, antagonizing black people. No, he wasn't having no problems doing that. In fact, he was getting paid to do it. It wasn't until he actually unloaded a firearm that's when he got stopped. And that guy's still getting a lot of support. Now we have this right here. It's disgusting.
People dismissed it as harmless internet humor involving a squishy toy. Others argued the videos felt disturbing, especially because the doll appears to represent a black child while being used in violent or humiliating ways.
Look at that. Look at that, bro. Why would you make the stress relief toy look like what is your mindset? Like, you need to really deep it. Like, there's always a why behind everything, bro. Like, nothing is coincidence, nothing is by chance. Everything that you see in the media, everything you see is on purpose, bro. Always remember that. It's on purpose. So why is it that this would be trending? Squashing, injecting, bro, you're gonna see. They're just doing all these kind of abusive acts to this toy. Why would you make a stress relief toy that looks like a black child? Why would you do that?
Debate quickly moved beyond the toy itself and turned into a larger conversation about race, online behavior, and how far people push trends for views and engagement. And now the internet is split. Some people say critics are overreacting to a toy, while others believe there's a reason.
There is no black people that will say that people are overreacting over a toy. There are no black people. I don't care how stupid or ignorant anybody can be. There's no black people that will be okay with this. There shouldn't be. This is disgusting. This is evil. You're making a stress relief toy that looks like a black baby, and then all these people are doing loads of videos all over the place, running these dolls over, and it's only particularly the ones that look like black babies, not the ones that are all different colors. No, it's particularly the black baby dolls that they have to do all this violent acts to and video it, and this is meant to be comedy. It's not comedy, it's evil. And it's targeted at black people, black children at that. Black children, babies, bro. Think how deep that is. This is disturbing, bro. And the fact that people say that, oh, you're overreacting, that's disturbing. That just lets you know the mindset of a lot of people, bruh. Like how people really, truly look at black people. Even how they look at black babies. This is horrible. This is really horrible.
This specific doll became the center of the trend in the first place. So what do you think? Harmless stress relief content, or does this trend cross a line?
And look at this. It gets worse. But it was already bad enough, but it's getting worse. Look, mukbang black baby, bro. Bruh. This part is really disturbing, bruh. I'll ask you lot one time. I really, really hope everybody watching supports this video. If you don't like me, you hate watch me, that's fine. You don't like me personally, that's fine. But this video here needs to be seen by a lot of people, bruh. So, like the video, hype the video, share the video with other people, because people need to see this. Right here, we have a mukbang. So basically, they've made some kind of confectionery, and again, it's depicting a black baby. Why would they do this? Is that not disturbing to you? There is no reason in my life ever where I would eat something that has been crafted to look like a baby. That's horrible. That you don't have no soul inside you, bro. Like, you have no soul inside you, bro. What would possess these people to make that in the first place? And then what kind of person is gonna buy that and think, yeah, I really want to eat that because it looks delicious? You are fucking weird. Some cannibal vibes. And you're just chomping on it like it's just like normal. Bruh. This is absolutely shocking and disturbing and evil, in my opinion. And look. And let me add something to this. You notice this person, whoever it is that's eating, they've powdered their face quite a lot to look really as pale as possible. That complexion of that face is not regular. That face has been powdered to look more pale, to look more white. Because what did I tell you? Not all people in the Far East, but a lot do worship and pedestalize whiteness. This is just weird. This is really, really bad, bro. This is horrible. And this is seen as funny or entertaining by the media in China. This is normal out there. This is normal. This is everyday, normal, business as usual. Let's make stress reliever toys, Natasha dolls that look like black babies, and then let's make a food that looks like black babies. And let's post it all over social media and it's trending and going viral and all this. This is horrible. This is absolutely insane. Look at this one. Look, they got one of the Natasha dolls and put it on this person, whoever this is, put it on as a sock on their foot. Look,
Odd Natasha meme on Chinese social media. So on Red Note and Diane, there is a trend of meme surrounding this stress toy people call or Natasha. As part of this trend, people do obscene, cruel, and odd things to this doll as you see in the video, and it's super popular and people call it hilarious. I personally have an uncomfortable pit in me stomach when I see
this is look, and they're injecting the doll with some fluid, bruh, like, bruh. Again, you gotta really think about this deeply. The people that created this thing are evil. The people that purchase this are evil. And then the people that are posting it are evil. Because they're doing all these kind of violent, mean, evil, abusive acts to these dolls. And only to the black dolls. And then people in that side of the world seem to really enjoy that content. They're really enjoying it. It's trending. So these people that are watching it and enjoying the content, they're evil as well. This is crazy, bro. This is really crazy.
These videos, these stress toys, come in various colors, even pink, yet the trend specifically chooses this particular model.
Look at this, bro. They filled it up with water and just left. Oh, bruh. I don't know about you lot, bro, but this makes me feel sick, bro. Like, the first time I saw this stuff, I physically felt sick. Like, I couldn't believe this was real. Like, why? Like, why? This is the question. This is what I'm saying. Why? There's always a why to everything. Why is this trending? Why do the people find this funny? Why was this even made? The why. Disgusting. Look at this video. So they got the Natasha doll and they put boiling water on it. And basically wrapping some kind of plastic around it. And listen, I don't think there's anything funny here. So, like, a lot of you guys, yeah, like, the reason why we fail is because people always find everything to be fucking funny, bruv. I don't want to see no LOL, no smiley faces, no laughing, no nothing, bruh. I ain't even in the mood for, and if you think that you're going to just do what you want, you will be blocked. Because there's nothing funny here, bruh. Like, there's a time and a place to laugh and joke. If you can't see that this is evil and this is disgusting, and you want to laugh and joke, bruh, like, you're not my kind of people. You shouldn't be watching me. We're not the same. We're not on the same wavelength. Too many of you people think everything's a laugh and a joke. You don't realize there's people out there that really hate you. Really hate you, bruh. And you think everything's a laugh and a fucking joke. There's people that really, really look at you as like you're nothing. You're an insect. You're an insect to get stomped out. You're an insect that they'll pour boiling hot water on you or run you over, and you're laughing and joking. Bruh, you're not my type of people, bruh. It's not every time you laugh about and joke or make light of everything. Fix up.
TikTok で話題になっているもの、それがナターシャ、アフリカベビーのスクイーズ人形、大量に出てきます。これが流行った理由、結婚をせかしてくるお母さんに対して。
Look at this, bro. Why, bro? Like, this is what I'm saying. The question is why? Why? Why is this? Why is this even a thing? Why is this okay? Why is it they don't see why this is evil? Why is it they are oblivious to the fact that this is evil? How this is absolutely just...
They are displaying how they relieve stress. And the way they relieve stress is through these Natasha dolls. So with these Natasha dolls, they are not only beating them, punching them, they are also boiling them. They are injecting them with things. And we can't help but see what color these dolls are. And y'all, again, we need more Black-owned businesses and we need to support Black. Stop giving certain groups our money. We have a choice on where we could spend money.
This is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
If you don't know, it's these dolls that look like this, and there's been a viral trend to like throw them on the floor and smash their heads, run them over with cars, fill them up with water and like slice them open. It's awful. Like it's clearly very awful. I do want to clarify though, I don't live in China. I've never lived in China. I'm not on the Chinese side of the internet. So I only found out about these dolls at the same time as the rest of you. So you're asking me what's happening. I don't know. I need to take some time to figure out for myself too. It's situations like this that come out of China that I think make a lot of us in the Chinese diaspora realize how different we are from Chinese people in China. Because for us, like, this is obviously racist. This is clearly racist towards Black people, but Chinese people in China just don't see it that way because they don't experience racism. Chinese people in China hold power, so they have no lived experience to draw any kind of parallels to, whereas for us, it's like, are you blind? Not on Red Note, and I'm kind of terrified.
I'm not buying that, bro. Like, I just think that they just look at Black people as nothing, bro. Like, that's what I think. They know who Black. It's not like Black people. They don't have TV or internet. They see Black people, bro. All right, and it's just the why. You have to ask the question why. Why would they make this doll, and why would it be a trending thing to do violent acts to this specific type of doll? Don't make no excuses about, they don't understand what racism is. They do. If they understand how to make iPhones and all of this stuff, I'm sure they not understand what racism is. And I don't even know if they make iPhones in China. I just don't care right now. Big up to A-Lord 3000 for the super chat. It says there's a Chinese commercial where they put a Black guy in a washing machine, and when it finished, the guy came out Chinese, like saying the detergent washes away blackness. Shake my head. And that's what I'm saying. Like, bruh, like, they pedestalize whiteness over there. So, of course, them making a Black baby stress relief toy, of course that's something, bro. It's a stress relief toy, so it's a toy that they're going to abuse because it's for stress relief, and they made it to depict a Black baby. So that lets you know exactly how they feel about Black people, bro. Like, it's very clear. So to try and be like, oh yeah, it's because they don't experience racism in their country, so that's why they're doing this stuff, that's a cop out. That's bullshit, in my opinion. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Terrified of Chinese netizens, but I did go through several videos and read through the comment section, but I can't read Chinese, so I had to rely on their translator. So there may be some things that are lost in translation, but I think I got the gist of what's happening. These Natasha dolls were actually released a few years ago, and they weren't initially called Natasha dolls. They were called something else. I'm not sure what that was, but they were released in multiple colors, and kids were buying them at first to dress them up and put them on display and take care of that. The black dolls became somewhat popular because there aren't a lot of black dolls in China. And so ironically, initially, it was the racist Chinese people who wanted these dolls to be banned because they were worried that these dolls were going to make Chinese people more comfortable around black people. And
Wow. So at the beginning, they wanted to ban the Natasha dolls because it was going to make Chinese people more comfortable around black people. Because I guess if Chinese people feel more comfortable around black people, that's going to be the end of the world. Do you see how deep it runs? This hatred runs deep, bro. They don't even want Chinese people to feel comfortable around black people. They want them to have this kind of weird mindset towards black people, this racist mindset. They want to keep that going on to the point where they didn't even want the Natasha dolls there. They wanted to ban it because the kids was gonna be too familiar with looking at a black image. That's crazy, bro.
a content creator decides to put out a skit of how his mom constantly pushes him to have children, which is a very common situation in China, and to push back against the wishes of his mom. He hid one of these black Natasha dolls on a car seat, and then his mom saw it and got mad, probably especially because the baby is black, and then threw the doll, and then that video became viral. The videos became more and more absurd, of the mom getting so mad that she started boiling them or running over them with a car or throwing them in a garbage can,
But why would the oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Even the concept of this so-called skit that you're talking about is racist and evil, bro. Like, bro, there's no way you can try and sugarcoat this at all. This is pure evil, in my opinion, bro. Pure, unadulterated hatred, bro. The mum gets mad, angry, because the child has a black Natasha doll, to the point where the mum, and remember, women are meant to be softer, nicer people, and blah, 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 but got so mad to see a black Natasha doll that she runs it over with her car and boils it. Boil, you know.
I think is how the doll got its name, Natasha. But I can't confirm here because in Chinese, I say 垃圾桶 for garbage can. So I'm not sure how that turns into Natasha. Because these videos were so popular, it started...
Oh, so the Natasha doll, the name Natasha doll was meant to mean garbage. So, because if it's a black baby, then they view it as it must be trash. Wow. Shocking.
A viral trend of all these copycats trying to do the most horrific things that they can to these Natasha dolls to get their own viral moment, and that's how we ended up to today. If you look at the most viewed videos on RedNote, it's about calling out this behavior as being quite problematic, but it's kind of strange because I think a lot of people still don't really see the racial element to it. They see it as being problematic because it encourages violence in young children, but they don't see how it also encourages racism against black people. There are Chinese people who are calling it out as racism because, like, why are you only doing it to the black dolls when there are all these other colors? And people are like, well, it's because the black dolls don't look like us, so we don't feel as bad doing it to them. And
wow. That is literally racism 101. Well, the black dolls don't look like us, so we don't feel bad being evil to them. That is literally racism 101. And this is what black people have faced throughout history from all different corners. it's just so interesting and it's disturbing that we are just so hated by everybody, bro. You know, that we do have friends here and there, but in general, like, bruh, as a black person, you need to be very, very careful, especially if you are someone that wants to travel outside of, multicultural environments or environments that are more tolerant of black people, and you want to venture out into the world. You need to be very, very careful, bro.
And it's like that's racism. There was even a post on Red Note by a Chinese person who was talking to her black friend who was expressing her discomfort in these Natasha dolls because they kind of reminded her of her when she was a baby. And the Chinese person was like, oh, I never thought about it this way. And I'm like, why wouldn't you think about it this way? Isn't this the first thing you should think of? Now, the government has intervened to clamp down on this behavior, which I guess is one of the advantages of China. They are now banned in schools. These videos are getting taken down, and they've released a number of articles and videos about why this behavior is problematic. But once again, they are not approaching it from the racial angle. They are approaching it from the angle of promoting violence. The problem with government intervention is that a lot of people don't like being told what to do, especially young people by authority figures. And so there's been backlash to this as well. People are like, well, why are you all concerned about the abuse of dolls but not abuse of animals? And so there's been quite a bit of
Jesus Christ. You see what I'm saying? If black people are facing some kind of racism or something, then these non-black people will start talking about animals, bro. Why are you not talking about the cruelty to animals? Brother, I understand that cruelty to animals is an issue. But, bro, we are human beings. Racism should really be a higher priority than animal cruelty. Since we're human beings. Crazy.
pushback as well. But there is one strategy that seems to be working. Chinese people in China seem fairly sensitive about how their country is being perceived from the outside. But they don't really have a good pulse on that because their internet is blocked off from the rest of the world. A lot of these upvoted comments are warning Chinese people that this kind of behavior is not going to be received well from the outside. That black people in other countries are really not going to like this. So even if you don't understand why it's wrong, you should stop. I wouldn't automatically assume that Chinese people are not going to listen.
I don't even want them to stop. I like when people expose themselves to who they are, bro. I don't even want them to stop. I think that is good. I think that is good that the internet can really showcase what is going on in other countries, in other cultures, and the fact that this was trending. And like, I'm sure most of us didn't even know this existed, but now it got exposed. I think that it's a good thing, and it's a good thing to know how people really view us, and how low and evil their mindset can be. I'm happy that it came out.
Listen to you simply because you're a foreigner. If you go on Red Note right now, there are a lot of recent videos from Americans who's posting all these warnings about why this behavior is problematic. And if you look through the comment section, it seems like it's being received well. I feel like they are listening to you. I received a few
They don't give a crap, bro. Them people are still racist. The racist people are still racist, bro. They ain't gonna change overnight. It doesn't go like that. You don't just change your views overnight. Let's see what this guy's got to say.
Someone told me about this very disturbing TikTok trend in China. It feels painful to even describe it, but since I grew up there, I feel obligated to have a few words. So basically, a lot of people in China were filming themselves torturing these dolls that have dark skin. Not just any dolls, but specifically dolls with dark skin. which apparently sends a racist and sadistic message. It really pains me to talk about this. Maybe I could say something like not all Chinese, but it wouldn't mean much, because statistically, the Chinese population, including the immigrants outside China, are still, in general, pretty racist. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They just are. So I want to talk a little about why. Especially since most people in China never had a chance to see a black or brown person up close. Where does this behavior come from? First, I want to say, just as in any country, racism is always highly correlated with ignorance. You need to understand, contrary to what many people may have told you, most parts of China are still highly undereducated. Pile on me if you want, but it's true. I mean, their education is okay in terms of math and science, but when it comes to humanities and social sciences, it's like non-existent. Maybe some top universities have some decent programs, but high schools and local colleges are basically in the Stone Age. There's no empirical political science at all. No sociology, no human geography, maybe some geography, but not human geo. There's history, but the content is highly selective. Almost everything in the history textbooks has something to do with glorifying the Chinese Communist Party, not much else. Literature, well, barely. The reading assignments in high schools are very boring, except maybe a few ancient pieces, and very few translated articles from other countries. So basically, students are not supposed to understand people and societies. They're trained about everything else, but not human beings. Because this way, the ruling party has an easier time telling them what to do. And that ignorance also infected the Chinese immigrants in other countries because they are mostly STEM majors. They not only don't know social sciences, they kind of look down on social sciences. Some of them think political science is pseudoscience because, the data are not as neat as in a chemistry experiment. Well, that'd be another topic. But basically, ignorance in how the human world works is always a big risk factor for racism. The second explanation, the cult of money in China affects the psychology toward race.
This is really interesting what this guy is saying. He's making it very clear that in China, basically, they are conditioned in a way to just be all about China and not really have empathy towards people outside of China, really, and not really develop that kind of understanding the understanding of just be humanity towards other people. Like, it's just weird, bro. This is weird. Like, everything is just like basically just the logics, the math, the chemistry of everything. Like, they're just conditioned to be that way. So like they are just conditioned to lack empathy towards other people. And then obviously in this second part, he's going to talk about the idolization of money. So obviously, black people being socioeconomically at the trailing at the bottom, like, that's going to make their perception of black people even lower. Do you get what I'm saying? Because of the socioeconomic hierarchy. And that's why they idolize white people so much. Why did that happen?
I mean, of course, Americans love money too. But compared to how much Chinese love money, you guys are like amateurs. China literally has a god called causation, which means god of money. I don't know any such god in other cultures. But causation is a big deal in China. It's actually worshipped by Chinese of different beliefs, like Buddhists, Taoists, and some other local paganists, even atheists. They all sort of worship the god of money. This money cult was especially explosive in the last half century because China was in this transition from the Maoist version of hungry communism to a net-breaking extreme of capitalism. So 2 generations of Chinese were basically rediscovering economic competition, and they just went crazy. There's not a family or friend gathering in China where people don't talk about money. So of course, race is also incorporated into that monetary value system. White people have more money, so they must be a higher race. About 20 years ago, my wife was having a business lunch with some white guys in Shanghai. And guess what? The receptionist of the restaurant tried to stop her from entering. He just basically asserted himself between the white guys and my wife and blocked her. She had no idea what was going on. Maybe the guy thought she was pretending to be a part of the group, or maybe he thought she was trying to hit on one of the white guys. But either way, you are not their bodyguards. Why do you care? Before she could figure out what happened, one of the white guys turned back and shouted at the receptionist and made him back off. You know, like a tough colonizer in those movies. Pretty funny. And of course, that money-based racism affects Chinese people's attitude toward black people. They use race as a proxy to decide who can be a source of revenue. A lot of Chinese disrespect black people because they don't see a swell pocket.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying, because black people socioeconomically are trailing. So if Chinese people worship money, they are going to have a low opinion of black people because they're socioeconomically at the bottom. So they're just going to look at them as, oh, you lot are trash, basically. That's just the basics.
You can see this in the United States too, right? Even the most racist motherfuckers would pretend to be polite in front of rich black people, right? I bet you'll see a lot of crazy Chinese fans too if some NBA teams visit China. So part of racism is really just classism. Okay, my third point. Some of these racist video trends may have been the Chinese government's strategy. I don't have any evidence, but I know for sure that the CCP wants Chinese immigrants to be hated in America. Why? If they're hated, they'll feel more vulnerable and be more loyal to the motherland. They'll either go back or maybe help China achieve some policy goals in the US.
Wow.
So there's a very real possibility that the Chinese censors intentionally let those trends slip through their fingers to sow discord between Chinese immigrants and African Americans. You know, the censorship in China is highly effective. With both AI and a massive team of online police, I just can't imagine anything the government doesn't like can become a trend.
Wow, that is such an interesting point. That the Chinese, like, internet, basically, social media, is so policed that for this, you know, this racist trend to even get leaked is really like, this could be some deliberate conspiracy to have its own kind of agenda. Like, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
So on one hand, it's a reflection of organic racism. But on the other hand, it could also be assisted by a centralized algorithm. And of course, making Chinese Americans and African Americans hostile to each other will also help Trump. And China definitely wants Trump in power because China's foreign trade literally exploded under Trump's trade policy, as America is dumping its traditional partners. So China probably wants Trump to declare martial law and rule forever, you know? So, of course, one way to make it happen is to make Chinese immigrants unable to stay in the liberal tent. Again, I can't prove it, but it's very hard to find alternative explanations for the censorship malfunctioning.
That's true. And what he's saying about, you know, the censorship and like how Chinese media is so restricted and like, you know, the rest of the world doesn't really get to see it. But then all of a sudden these videos got leaked. Yeah, that is something very mysterious. And, you know, that, bro, again, I just don't believe anything is done by chance or coincidence. I think everything is done on purpose. But anyway, yeah, that's it, man. I just wanted to showcase what is going on in the world. This was something that I found to be quite disturbing, and I think that is very important that people see this. So make sure you please like the video, leave a comment, and share the video as well, because this is crazy, bruh. And it's just that whole Natasha doll thing is just an evil product, bro. But anyway, with that being said, you lot take care of yourselves. I'll be back again tomorrow. Actually, I will be doing a live stream with Team Fatty and Ali. So I should be back again on their panel doing a live stream. So watch out for that. But anyway, you lot take care of yourselves. Please like this video. Don't forget to like this video. Yeah, even if you don't like me, even if you're a hate watcher, please like this video, share this video, leave a comment, hype the video, all that good stuff. Anyway, with that being said, I'm signing out. You lot take care of yourselves. I'm out of here. Peace.